Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, students. So, in yesterday's class, I have stopped up to why stars twinkle, right?
Yes, sir.
So, today's class, I'll explain why planets do not twinkle. Okay, why planets do not twinkle. Okay, so I'll write the answer for that, then later I'll explain. The planets are much closer to Earth, so thus are considered as extended sources. If we consider planets as a collection of large number of point size sources, the total variation in the amount of light entering our eye will be averaged out to zero. So thereby nullifying the twinkling effect. Okay, so here you can see the statement or sentence: the planets are much closer to Earth. We know stars are very far from Earth and they are considered as point size sources, but here as the planets are much closer to Earth, also they are non-luminous objects. They don't emit their own light, so they are closer to Earth, so they are considered as extended sources. Extended sources means it is the collection of large number of point size sources. So that is, it is the, so planet as are considered as collection of large number of uh, point size sources. The total variation in the amount of light entering our eye from all individual sources, from all individual sources, from all individual sources means, so each point sized source So from all individual sources will be averaged out to 0. So therefore nullifying the twinkling effect. Did you understand? I'll explain it. See, this is the earth, this is the earth's atmosphere. So if we consider star will be very far from the earth. So that is why star is considered as point size source. So we consider only one individual ray, that is single ray we consider. But if we consider planets, so planets are much closer to earth. So planets are considered as extended sources. Extended sources means it consists of large number of point size sources. See here, star is only one point size source, but whereas planets are extended sources. That means it consists of large number of extended sources, a large number of point size sources. That means here if we consider one point, in planet we consider so many points. That means large number of point size sources. So here as we are considering only one point size source, so we get only one ray and we clearly see that ray is bending towards normal. Okay, that ray is bending towards normal. But here we don't consider one point size source, we consider extended source. So it is the collection of large number of sources. So if I consider one individual point size source, light will be like this, so bending will be this much. Okay, but since it is the collection of large number of point size sources, so the total variation in the amount of light, total variation in the amount of light entering our eye will be averaged out to 0. You are understanding? That means, see, the total light will emit from all individual point size sources. So the light will be like this. So many rays will be coming. So as number of light sources are entering our eye, so here the bending, you won't see any bending. So that bending will be averaged out to 0. So that is why we see planets do not twinkle. Understood? No.
Once again, sir.
Okay, I will explain once again. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ನ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರೇ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ರೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ರೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ರೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ತರದ್ದು there are more number of point size sources, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಗ್ಗಿ ಇರ್ತದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಒನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಓಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಒನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಎರಡು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು ಮುಚ್ಚಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ 0. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇದು 3 ರೇ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ರೇ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೀದಾ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದು ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗದ್ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇನ್ನ 2 ರೇಸ್ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. 2 ರೇಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೀದಾ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಟ್ವಿಂಕಲ್. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್? Planets are much closer to the earth and that's why they are considered as extended sources. So the planets are considered as it consists of large number of point size sources. So the total variation in the amount of light entering the eye will be averaged out to 0. Since the total variation in the amount of light entering our eye is averaged out to 0, so we will not see the planet twinkle. So the twinkling effect is nullified. That means it has
Nullified.
become zero. So that is why planets do not twinkle. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the next concept is advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. Advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. Okay, sun is visible to us. Sun is visible to us in about 2 minutes before the actual sunrise and 2 minutes after the actual sunset. Did you understand? If this is the earth, so sun is visible to us about 2 minutes before the actual sunrise. Before the actual sunrise means, sunrise means, so if you consider this as horizon, if the sun crosses this horizon, if the sun crosses this horizon, we call it as actual sunrise. So similarly, if sun crosses this horizon, so we call this as sunset. So the actual sunrise means the crossing of sun. If sun crosses horizon, we call it as actual sunrise. But what I am saying is advanced sunrise and delayed sunset is because of atmospheric refraction only. Sun rises about 2 minutes before the actual sunrise and it sets about 2 minutes after the actual sunset. Okay, so that means sun rise ಆಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸನ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಸನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ? That is due to the atmospheric refraction. Okay, so if I consider this as the layer of atmosphere, so sun rays will enter this layer of atmosphere and they will get refracted through the layers of the atmosphere. So due to this atmospheric refraction, if you are standing here, so sun is visible exactly in this particular direction. So though sun did not rise actually, you will be able to see the sun. So the time difference between this is about 2 minutes. So this is what we call it as advanced sunrise. The actual crossing of horizon by the sun, we call it as sunrise. But due to the atmospheric refraction, we see sun early, that is before 2 minutes only we will be able to see the sun. Also here, come here, sun will be at this point. Sorry, sun already has set. As sun already has set, so due to the atmospheric refraction here, you will be able to see the sun at this point only. So this is why we call it as delayed sunset. So this also about 2 minutes. So there will be 2 minutes early, there will be 2 minutes delay. So the total addition time for us in a day is around 4 minutes. Okay, so we will see extra 4 minutes the sun. Okay, the sun is visible for us about 4 minutes extra time. So this is what about advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. So sun is visible to us before the actual sunrise and it is visible to us after the actual sunset. So that is due to the atmospheric refraction. So the time delay is the advanced sunrise takes around about 2 minutes, delayed sunset takes around 2 minutes. So the total variation in a day is about 4 minutes. So this is about advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. Also you might have seen the apparent flattening of sun disk. Apparent flattening of sun disk ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಸನ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸನ್ಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್. Okay, that is also due to the atmospheric refraction only. Understood? So this is about advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. So the next concept is scattering of light. Okay, so scattering of light, the interplay of light with the objects around us has given several spectacular phenomena. For example, color of sky, it is blue. Why the color of sky is blue? That is because of the interplay of light with the objects. Object may be fine particles present in the atmosphere or anything. And also you will see the color of sea or ocean is blue. Why the color of ocean is blue? That is also due to the same reason, that the light interplays between the objects around us. And also you might have seen during sunrise and sunset, the color of the sky appears reddish. So the reddening of sky during sunset and sunrise is reddish. Why? Why it is reddish? So that also we will study. First we need to understand scattering of light. So you have already studied in 9th standard, I think maybe in chemistry, scattering of particles through a colloidal solution. So if you take a true solution means there won't be any colloidal particles. So if you allow the light to pass through the true solution, you will not see anything. Will you see the path of the ray of the light? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
So if you take a true solution, if you turn on the torch, or if you allow the light to pass through this true solution, will you be able to see the path of this light? No, you will not be able to see the path of this light. But instead of taking true solution, if you take a colloidal solution means there will be some fine particles present in the solution. So then the path of the light will become visible. Why this path of the light will become visible? So that is what we call it as scattering of light. Okay, the light ray after hitting this fine particle will scatter or will spread in all direction. So that is what we call it as scattering of light. So next concept is Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect. So you know the Earth atmosphere is a heterogeneous mixture of minute particles. Heterogeneous means different particles. So it is a mixture of different particles. You might have heard about heterogeneous, homogeneous. Homogeneous means same, heterogeneous means different. So Earth atmosphere contains heterogeneous mixture of different particles. Different particles in the sense, sometimes it may containing mist, moisture, dust particles, air particles. So Earth atmosphere will have all this mixture of particles. It may be dust, it may be moisture, it may be air molecules, or it may be smoke. So when a beam of light enter through this Earth atmosphere, when it hits this finer particles present on the surface of the Earth. So if you consider this as the Earth, okay, let me give you an example. So the light is entering now. So these are the finer particles. Dust particles are called as finer particles. So you can see the dust particles, right? So now I'll show you one more example. Say I will turn on the torch. So now can you see the light ray, which the path of the light? You cannot see this path of light. So once I pour some dust particles here, you can see the path of the light. So you can see this path of the light is in this direction, right? So the path of the light become visible when light hits the finer particles present in the atmosphere. Understood? So when light strikes the finer particles present in the atmosphere, it will reflect diffusely. Okay, this process we call it as Tyndall effect. Okay, when a beam of light strikes a finer particles present in the atmosphere, it will reflect diffusely in all direction. So this process we call it as Tyndall effect. So what are the applications or some examples of Tyndall effect? Where you have seen Tyndall effect, like after hitting the light, the path of the light become visible. After the light beam hits the particles, you will see the path of the light become visible. Where you have seen like this? Just now I showed. So see, now you can see the light, but you cannot see which direction the light is traveling. So once I uh, turn this on, okay, like you can see the path of the light. Okay, so like this, where you have seen. Okay, I'll give the examples. Canopy of dense forest. Canopy of dense forest means uh, there will be dense forest. Dense forest means the sky is covered with the tree leaves. Okay, so if there is a small hole, through that small hole, the light will fall into the forest. Okay, so you will see that light is entering through the forest because here the moisture present in the air. So as the moisture is present in the air, this light beam will hit that particles, so the path of the light becomes visible. So canopy of dense forest is one example for Tyndall effect. Also, if you allow the sunlight to pass through a smoke filled room, if this room is completely filled with smoke, if you allow torchlight or if you allow sunlight, you will be able to see the path of the light or path of the beam. So that is one example for Tyndall effect. Also, there are many examples during night time, due to the dust particles present in the atmosphere. While traveling in bike, you will be able to see the path of the headlight. Okay, that is in particular direction. So that is possible because of Tyndall effect. So because the path of the beam of light from the vehicle will hit the finer particles present in the atmosphere. So that is the reason you will be able to see the path of the beam of the light from the vehicle. So these are all the examples of Tyndall effect. So also see, when light or when a beam of light hits the finer particles present in the atmosphere. So when a beam of light hits the finer particles present in the atmosphere, it mostly emit the blue end of the spectrum, that is blue colored light. So blue colored light is of shorter wavelength. So when light hits the finer particle, it will emit blue colored light, which is at shorter wavelength region. When light hits the larger particle, it will emit red color. Okay, that is which is present at longer wavelength region. So sometimes the light may hit the particles which is more bigger than this, more larger than this. Then the light will emit white color, white colored light, white colored light. So now you know, if the beam of light hits the finer particle present in the atmosphere, it will emit the colors which are at shorter wavelength region. When it hits the larger particle, it emits the light which is at longer wavelength region. When the light hits the particles which is much more larger than this, then it will emit white colored light. Okay, so I hope you have understood Tyndall effect and scattering of light. So now I will move on to the next concept, why the color of the sky is blue. Can you explain now why the color of the sky is blue? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why the color of the sky is blue then?
Hits the smaller particles of the atmosphere.
Okay, the atmosphere consists of finer particles or not smaller particles, finer particles whose wavelength is lesser than the wavelength of visible light. okay, whose wavelength is lesser than wavelength of visible light. There are few particles here. Can you see it? You cannot see it because the wavelength of these particles are less than the wavelength of visible light. Okay, the fine particles present in the atmosphere will have wavelength less than the wavelength of visible light. So when a beam of light entering the Earth's atmosphere strikes these finer particles, so I already said when a beam of light strikes the finer particle, it will mainly emit the blue end of the spectrum, that is the color which are present at the shorter wavelength region than at the longer wavelength region. So that is why the sky appears bluish in the color. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
repeat it once again. The atmosphere consists of a finer particles whose wavelength is lesser than the wavelength of visible light. When a beam of light entering the Earth atmosphere hits these finer particles present in the atmosphere, these finer particles emits the blue end of the spectrum, that is the light which is having shorter wavelength than the longer wavelength. So that is why the color of the sky is blue instead of red. Okay. So okay, in order for the visibility of light, so it is compulsory that we need to have atmosphere. If there is no atmosphere, there won't be any finer particles, there won't be any dust particles, there won't be any smoke, nothing will be there. If there is no atmosphere, so we will not have any particles present in the atmosphere. So due to the presence of atmosphere, the scattering of light is taking place. That is why we will see the color of the sky as blue if there is no atmosphere. Okay, so around 200-meter depth we will have atmosphere. Okay, after certain distance there won't be any presence of atmosphere. So if you reach above this level, will you be able to see any color, or what color you will see?
Dark colors.
Okay, dark. The sky appears darker for an astronaut. Why? So because, so for an astronaut uh, who is traveling above the atmosphere, there won't be any presence of atmosphere. As there is no presence of atmosphere, scattering of light will not take place. So the sky would appear dark to the atmosphere or any spacecraft person. Okay, so next concept. So why you might have seen the danger signal. The danger signal, they will use red colored light. Why they will use red colored light?
It has larger wavelengths.
Larger wavelength and it is least deviated, right? So while explaining a prism, I have explained red is least deviated and violet is most deviated. So as red is least deviated, we can see the danger signal from very far distance. Also if there is a fog or smoke, as it is least deviated, the light ray coming emerging out from the signal, whatever the signal it is there, so it is emerging out from the signal, will pass through these smoke particles as well as fog. It will not get deviated. Since it is least deviated, still we will be able to see the signal. Even you might have seen in traffic also they will use red colored light. So why they mainly use red colored light? Because red is least deviated and it can be seen through fog as well as smoke, and it can be seen through far distance. So that is why danger signal as well as traffic signal, they will use red colored light. So here also you can see they are using, most of the time they prefer red colored light because it is easy for us to see it from long distance. Okay, even you might have seen battery charger iruttalla, charger olagu kuda light ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, red color light ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸೀನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಫ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸೀನ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ deviated. Okay, understood? So next concept
sir.
is color of sunrise, sorry, color of sky at sunrise and sunset, color of sky. So what color of sky you see during sunrise and sunset? It is orange or reddish. So there is an activity in textbook. So first we have to take a source. Source means any kind of bulb. Okay. Then after the source, I will place a convex lens L1. Then I will take a glass tank. Anusha,
सगळे भांडे मला सांगले तू तू खर्च तू एक दोन नाही पुरके पुर
okay, we will take a source, then I will take lens L1. After that I will take a glass tank. After the glass tank I will take a cardboard with a circular hole at the middle. Then again I will place a convex lens. At the end of this I will place a screen. Okay, this is my setup. So this is an activity to demonstrate why the color of sky is blue, why the color of sky is reddish during sunrise and sunset. Okay, so when I turn the bulb on, so before that I will fill this tank with 2 liters of water. Okay, this tank is filled with 2 liters of water. So when I turn the bulb on, so what happens? The ray will fall like this on. I will make the circular hole here. So you know, if the rays are coming from focus after refraction from the lens, how the ray will move? They will move parallel to the principal axis.
Principal axis.
Okay, first what I will do, I will dissolve around 200 gram of sodium thiosulfate. Okay, I will dissolve around 200 gram of sodium thiosulfate or sodium hypothiosulfate in this. After dissolving sodium hypothiosulfate, I will dissolve around 1 to 2 ml of 1 to 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, so after dissolving 200 gram of sodium thiosulfate, so I'll dissolve again 1 to 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. So after dissolving concentrated sulfuric acid in this, so it will take 2 to 3 minutes. So after 2 to 3 minutes, it will start precipitating the sulfur. So as it start precipitating the sulfur particles, so there is a presence of fine particles. So as the light source is coming and hitting these fine particles, so if you see from the 3 side of the tank, so this is the first side of the tank, that is the second side of the tank, and this is the third side of the tank. So as the sulfur particles begins to precipitate, so you will be able to observe the blue color emitting in 3 direction of the tank. So this side it will emit blue color, the other side it will emit blue color, and this side also you will be able to see blue color, because the light is hitting the finer particle present in this tank. So as sulfur particles starts forming, so we will see blue color in the 3 direction of the tank. So what about this direction? As the shorter wavelength region color is scattering in all 3 directions, so the longer wavelength region will transmit through this. So what is the longer wavelength region? That is, first it will form orange red, then it will turn into crimson red. So if you see on the screen, so on the screen you will be able to see So for few minutes it will be orange red, and after that it will turn it into crimson red. That means, see, when you allow the light to pass through a tank consisting of colloidal solution, so since these particles are fine in nature, they are finer particles, so first they will emit blue color, so that is emitting in three directions, this direction, and the other direction, and remaining longer wavelength light are there, so that will transmit through this cardboard which is having circular hole at the middle, and again it will pass through the convex lens. This convex lens will converge the light ray to the one point on the screen. So if you see this point on the screen, first it will be orange reddish, then it will turn into crimson red. So this is how the activity demonstrates. Color of sky is blue here because the light is traveling and it is hitting the finer particles present in the atmosphere. So as it travels, as the remaining light transmit through this tank, so we will be able to observe orange color as well as crimson red color. Okay, so I will explain this with an activity. So this is the activity. So now I will explain it in reality. So in reality, what exactly happens? So during sunrise and sunset only we will be able to see the orange color or red color. So if I consider this as the earth, this is the horizon. Okay, so sun is very far away from earth. Okay, sun is very far away from earth. So as it revolves around the earth, so at noon the distance of earth to the sun is less. Understood? During morning it will be at very far distance. So as it comes in the noon, this distance will be very less. Again it comes here, again in the evening the distance will be very far. Since earth is having atmosphere, so the sun has to travel a greater distance to reach earth. In the morning the sun has to travel a greater distance. So what happens? Due to the particles present in the atmosphere, due to the finer particles present in the atmosphere, as the sun ray passing through these finer particles, most of the shorter wavelength region color, that is blue end of the spectrum, will be scattered in the atmosphere itself. Okay, so it is scattered in the atmosphere itself. The remaining color is of longer wavelength, so that will be seen by us. Okay, so that means we will be able to see the color of longer wavelength region, that is red in color or orange red in color, and it will be appeared here. Okay, sun will be here. We know advanced sunrise, and the color of the sky is because of most of the shorter wavelength color is scattered in the atmosphere, and the longer wavelength color will enter through our eye. That is the reason we will be able to see the color of the sky as reddish. So the same thing will happen here. In the evening also, most of the light will be scattered before it reaches our eye. That is, the blue colored light or the shorter wavelength region colors will be scattered in the atmosphere itself. The remaining color is red, that will enter through our eye. Understood? And when sun is at overhead, at the noon, as the distance between the earth and the sun is very less, so we will be able to see the sun which is at white color. Why the color of sun is white during noon? Because the distance between the sun and the earth is very less. Sun is very close during noon, so as there is no scattering of light takes place. Even though if it takes place, very small amount of shorter wavelength region will be scattered, and we will see the sun as whitish in color. Understood? So this is the reality. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ sun ತುಂಬಾ ದೂರ ಇರ್ತದೆ, so atmosphere ಇರ್ತದೆ. As the rays of sun are traveling larger distances, the shorter wavelength region ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿಗೋ, ವೈಲೆಟ್, ಬ್ಲೂ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕಲರ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ರೆಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಅದು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಐಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ sky during sunrise as well as sunset as orange or reddish. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this ends the chapter human eye and colorful world. In the next period, I'll go through in-text questions as well as exercise questions. Now only I'll start. Still time is there. Okay, I'll start now. So we'll go through the first question. ಯಾಕೆ ಯಾರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. First question, what is meant by power of accommodation of eye? Power of accommodation. Anyone? What is meant by power of accommodation?
The ability to change focal length.
The ability of eye to adjust its focal length, we call it as power of lens. The ability of eye to adjust its focal length, we call it as power of lens. So how this power of lens is altered? By the help of ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles contracts. So what happens? The lens will become thin. So as the lens will become thin, focal length decreases. So if ciliary muscles relax, the lens will become thin, focal length increases. So by relaxation and contraction of ciliary muscles, the lens can adjust its focal length. So this ability of lens to adjust its focal length, we call it as power of accommodation. Okay. Next question. A person with a myopic eye can see objects behind 1.2 meter distinctly. A person with myopic eye. So what is myopia? A person can see near objects clearly and cannot see far objects. Correct? So question is, a person with myopic eye can see objects beyond 1.2 meter distinctly. That means
cannot see.
Person, wait a minute. A person with myopic eye cannot see. It is not cannot see behind 1.2 meter distinctly. That means up to 1.2 meter he can see any objects. So after 1.2 meters he cannot see the objects. That means for where he can see object, the image will be formed on his retina. So if the object is placed at 1.2 meters, he can see the image. So we have to take image distance as 1.2 meters. Okay. So he is not able to see behind 1.2 meters. That means we have to take object distance as infinity. Why we have to take object distance as infinity? Because if the object is placed at infinity, this person should be able to see. We are correcting his vision. How we are correcting? By giving him a lens of suitable power. To give him a lens of suitable power, first we have to calculate focal length, then we have to calculate power. So what is his problem? His problem is he cannot see far objects clearly. He can see objects which are placed at 1.2 meter clearly. So image will be formed when the object is placed at 1.2 meter. After this, if the object is placed, he is not able to see. So I will take object distance as infinity. So if b is equal to 1.2 meter, u will be is equal to infinity. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, I am wearing spectacles. Object ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ 1.2 meter ಇದೆ. I am able to see the object. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? And also where the object should be placed in order to correct this problem. So object should be placed at infinity. So both are in front of the lens as both are in front of the lens, I should take V also negative, U also negative.
Negative.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? In this chapter, you should take V also negative, U also negative in all the cases. Why we have to take V and U as negative? Because in every time you see the object, image will be, of course, image will be formed on retina, but object will be in front of the lens, and also the image of the object which should be formed on retina, that also should be in front of spectacles
Lens.
or in front of your eye lens. So that is the reason you should take both image distance as well as object distance as negative.
Negative.
So now using formula 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. So 1 by f is equal to, what is v? Minus 1.2 minus into minus plus 1 divided by infinity. Anything 1 divided by infinity is 0. So 1 by f is equal to 1 divided by minus 1.2. If you calculate focal length, f is equal to how much?
Minus 1.2.
1.2 meters. So focal length you got it as minus 1.2 meters. So calculate the power of lens. Power of lens is reciprocal of focal length. So P is equal to 1 by f. P is equal to 1 divided by minus 1.2.
1.2.
So P is equal to 1 divided by minus 1.2 is 0.83. So 0.83. So minus 0.83 meters. Sorry, diopters. Minus 0.83 is the power of lens, and this minus indicates what kind of lens it is.
Concave.
Concave lens. You know, directly problem given is myopia. For correcting myopia, what lens we will use? Concave lens.
Concave.
So if we get negative, if you get focal length as negative, power of lens as negative, it means it is concave lens. That means we can say it has diverging lens. So did you understand?
Yes, sir.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇದಾನ, ಆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ 1.2 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ತನಕ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ವೆನ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ 1.2 ಮೀಟರ್, ಇಮೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ, he should be able to see. So that is why keep object at infinity, then use the formula, you will get focal length and you will get power of lens. Like this many problems are there. I will continue in next class. Okay, so 10:45 I will come. So today if possible I will complete this in text questions as well as exercise questions, and tomorrow I will start magnetic effect of electric current. If I complete it by today, I will start magnetic effect of electric current tomorrow. Okay, I'll meet you in next class.
Thank you, sir. Bye.